Good evening. Before we begin tonight, please rise for the presentation of the colors and remain standing for our national anthem. The colors are being presented tonight and posted by cadets of the OSU Army and Air Force ROTC. Thank you. You may be seated. Would you agree with me that the future of our military is bright? Weren't those four amazing cadets? Let's give them a big hand. Good evening. I have the honor, as Ann Kane, to serve as president of your OSU Alumni Association. And wow, other than the bright light shining in my face, you all look great. If you haven't been back in a long time, I want to say why not, and welcome home. To those of you who come back on a more frequent basis, it's good to have you here with us tonight. This is OSU's 66th, can you believe that, Hall of Fame, dating back to 1956. And we have many loyal fans here tonight. First of all, tonight could not be possible without doing a few thank yous, so if you all will indulge me. First of all, the Alumni Association Board of Directors, known as my 16, soon to be 24 bosses, if you all would please stand. Thank you for being here. We were in a board meeting all day. They've worked really hard, and now we get to have fun. The Alumni Awards and Recognition Committee, would you please stand and be recognized? A very special partner, someone near and dear to my heart, Blair Atkinson, president of the OSU Foundation, and any of her board. Would you please stand? If you're a member of the Alumni Association, would you please stand? Thank you for being a member. Oh, I love it. And if you're not a member, my business card has a QR code on it. I'll be happy to give it to you before you leave tonight, and it takes you straight to our landing page for you all to join. And then, of course, and I tell you, these people are near and dear to my heart after just 6 short months. The Alumni Association staff, it's an all-team effort to put on tonight. Would you all please stand? They're amazing. As you know, the mission of the Alumni Association is to promote the accomplishments, celebrate what we're doing with our cowboy family members around the world and who bring honor to OSU. Tonight we have the opportunity to do that, bestowing OSU's highest honor on 4 very special individuals. Since our first ceremony in 1956, this award has been given to recognize outstanding professional and personal achievement while embodying our cowboy code. These achievements brought honor to OSU and increased the value of our degrees. To date, only 195 individuals out of more than 284,000 degreed alumni have been inducted into the OSU Hall of Fame. This evening, we are inducting 4 extremely deserving, and I'll have to tell you, visiting with them beforehand, very funny, all 4 individuals. Burns is not the only funny person we have here tonight. I will just tell you that. Burns and Ann Hargis, Cecil Obrate, and Major General Michael Thompson. Burns and Ann, I don't know if you remember this, but it was 15 years ago that you welcomed Tracy and me to Stillwater with a reception in this very building to honor me and welcome me as I came here to town for my past life. Thank you for your selfless service to our university and to our state. Mr. Obrate, sure, you can clap. Mr. Obrate, I've never thrown a softball or a baseball. We didn't have girl sports, but I love both sports. I even have the honor of throwing out the first pitch in your stadium next month. You might want to be there. It's going to be a treat. Thank you for all you've done for hundreds of youth through your foundation and for all that you've done for our university. And General Thompson, I grew up as a proud dependent of an Air Force pilot, career Vietnam vet. So I know and appreciate the commitment it takes to serve our country through the military. Thank you to you and to your family, your service to our country, as well as for the many years you have served Oklahoma. It's a family affair, so thank you very much. Congratulations to our 4 honorees, and thank you for representing Oklahoma State University in such outstanding ways. We are honored to serve you tonight and recognize you. Enjoy this evening, and let's just have fun. At this time, it's my privilege to welcome to the stage the president of Oklahoma State University in the prettiest gown I've ever seen. I might be a tidge jealous. President Shrum, would you please give her a big welcome?
Thank you, Ann. Well, it's a pleasure to be with you all this evening to induct such a great group of honorees into the Hall of Fame. I was telling Darren I'm feeling extra pressure this evening to deliver remarks that were worthy of such a distinguished group. And as always, he gave me some suggestions. He said, try not to be too charming, too funny, or too intellectual. Just be yourself and be brief. So Darren, I promise to be brief and take as much time as I need. Induction into the Hall of Fame is the highest honor bestowed upon someone by the university. Hall of Fame members represent everything our current students should aspire to be. Hardworking, passionate, and loyal. All of tonight's inductees dreamed big, and it's evident in their accolades and their accomplishments. The Hargises are visionary leaders who helped transform our campus and our hearts through their dedication and love. Mr. O'Brate, a humble servant dedicated to serving his community and those most in need. Major General Thompson, a pillar of strength and integrity, fighting to make our world a better and safer place. Your work brings great distinction to your alma mater every day, and we thank you and congratulate you.
Thank you, President Schrum, and good evening, everyone. I'm Tina Parkhill. I am the current chair of the Board of Directors for the OSU Alumni Association, and I have the privilege tonight of introducing some very special cowboys and cowgirls here with us. We ask each of these groups to please stand, and audience members, if you could hold your applause till all the names are read, I would appreciate it. Former U.S. Congressman Wes Watkins. State Representatives Trish Ranson and Tammy Townley. Representatives from the OSU A&M Board of Regents, Carrie Bates, Rick Davis, and Trudy Milner. OSU President Casey Schrum and members of the OSU leadership team, Dr. Jeanette Mendez, Dr. Tom Kuhn, Dr. Ken Eastman, Dr. Keith Garbett, Dr. Randy Kluver, Dr. Paul Tikalski, sorry Paul, Kyle Ray, Dr. Clyde Wilson, Chad Weiberg, and Josh Holliday. Finally, we'd like to recognize former OSU First Lady Ann Halligan, who is here with us tonight. Thank you all for being here, and let's give them a round of applause. I'm also extremely proud to welcome 21 members of the OSU Hall of Fame who are here with us tonight. We believe this to be one of the largest gatherings ever of current Hall of Fame members. If you are part of this prestigious group, will you please stand? To all of you for being here tonight as we recognize 4 incredible individuals. Please enjoy your meal, and we will begin our program very shortly.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Not too good. I can't even hear me. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Good evening, everyone. If I could have your attention, we are ready to proceed with the program. Hope you enjoyed your dinner. I thought it was delicious. Hope you did too. Yeah, let's give them a round of applause. Great job. My name is Larry Reese, and I have the ultimate pleasure of serving as your MC for this portion of our ceremony tonight. This is always one of my favorite nights of the year because we honor our very best. So it's right up there with beating OU. You know what I mean? Which, by the way, Coach Boynton and the Cowboys have already done twice. We've swept the Sooners, right? So this night is right up there with those 2 nights. I mean, it's just, that's what it's all about. But we honor, we have the honor of inducting this exemplary alumni group into the OSU Hall of Fame. All 4 inductees have proven to be outstanding leaders with a passion for service, community, and of course, Oklahoma State University. Each of our honorees have led very different lives, there's no doubt about that. But they all possess a strong work ethic and commitment to serve that was no doubt shaped by their times right here on our campus at Oklahoma State. As you will see through these video tributes, the 2023 inductees are the embodiment of what it means to follow the Cowboy Code. So tonight, we have an outstanding military leader. So he's not only one of our best, he's one of America's best, right? So we're very proud of him. We also have a cowboy who came to campus and kind of rode away for a very long time. And we're so glad that we got you back in the fold. So Cecil, we're so glad. Aren't we, Chad and Coach Holder? We're very proud that we have Cecil back in the OSU fold, and you've made it happen on our campus for sure. And of course, we have the absolutely perfect pair of Pokes. And Ann, I'm glad that we just turned up that shade of orange a little bit brighter for you. And so proud that you are one of us. So here we go. That's right. When you think about pairs, a few things come to mind. Orange and black, loyal and true, Burns and Ann. When the Hargises came to Stillwater in 2008, they were relatively unknown on campus. I knew them, but they were relatively unknown. But that changed very quickly. Almost overnight, Burns and Ann won over the hearts of our students and alumni. No doubt about that. Like our parents, I don't know if you're going to like this line, but like our parents, they were there for every moment, both good and bad, and that is true. They helped us reach new heights with new facilities, new programs, and new funding that have permanently transformed our campus for the better. And of course, they helped comfort us through tragedies, too many tragedies. But of course, our women's basketball plane crash and our homecoming incident. When it comes to pairs, you won't find a better pair of cowboys than Burns and Ann. Please turn your attention to the video screens and let's recognize our first honorees, Burns and Ann Hargis.
Burns and Ann Hargis devoted many years to serving our cowboy family and developing Oklahoma State University's mission as a modern land-grant institution. The fruits of their leadership are visible in nearly every area of campus, and their passion continues to shine today through the impacts they made on our students and alumni.
Burns and Ann's have been a great couple, I think, since they first met all those years ago in Houston, Texas. But I'd say they do make each other better in their involvement in their community. Certainly here at OSU, did so much.
The word I would use to describe the Hargises would probably be dynamic. I think they complement each other very well. When Ann was here, I think she fully understood what the president was trying to accomplish and what his goals and objectives were. And then she took a step back and she looked to see how she could fit in to that process. And she basically forged her own path. And I think the two of them together have made a lasting impact on this campus and on the people who are here.
Burns and Ann became president and first cowgirl in 2008, when he took office as OSU's 18th president. And though they did not have extensive backgrounds in higher education, they quickly became a dynamic duo on campus that helped transform enrollment, fundraising, and engagement among students and alumni.
President Hargis understood that we needed to raise funds to do the kind of things that we needed, both in scholarships. We were way behind in terms of endowed professorships and chairs. And so when he started, that was the first crack out of the box. You know, in the first few months of his tenure, he persuaded Boone Pickens to be willing to match donations up to $100 million for chairs and professorships. And at that time, the state agreed to match everything that was raised from private donors.
Some of Ann's greatest impacts, I think, are in the area of wellness, specifically Pete's Pet Posse and the creation of the pet therapy program. I think early on we really didn't understand the impact that that program would have, but it has so many facets to it. And I think for her, because she was so involved and so engaged with her therapy dog Scruff, she was able to connect with students, faculty, and staff on a much different level. Having a dog with you for whatever reason really breaks down all those barriers and makes you more approachable. So she was able to listen to students, to faculty, to staff. She has sat with students who are broken. She has celebrated with those students.
The Hargises worked every day to make OSU a better place for everyone who stepped foot on campus. The two are role models for all students and are clear representations of what it means to live by the Cowboy Code.
I feel like the Hargises are deserving of this honor for the lasting impact and the way they have made a difference on this campus and at the university. Not only did they embrace the cowboy culture and really lived by the Cowboy Code when they were here, but they continue to do that as well. And I think the impact that they made will last for a very, very long time.
He was the same person behind the scene that he was out in public. He had a great sense of humor. He was incredibly honest, hardworking, really intelligent, using his mind to strategically plan to make the progress that we needed to make at OSU, and he understood. Well, the one thing we really needed was financial help.
Under President Hargis' tenure, OSU built 2.5 million square feet of new facilities for academics, athletics, and the arts. He was the driving force behind the $1 billion Branding Success campaign, which attracted an anchor donation from philanthropist and OSU mega supporter T. Boone Pickens. The Hargises' esteemed accomplishments are driven by their love for the students of OSU. The two were always engaged in conversations with students and were often their biggest cheerleaders, celebrating them with great pride.
And he says, hey, if you get to be a chance to be a college president, take it, because I know he thoroughly enjoyed it, and a large part of that is because of the connection with students. And Burns had an open door policy. Any student who ever wanted to meet with him would get an appointment and meet with him. I mean, that was the absolute rule.
I think connecting with students for the Hargises was extremely important for several reasons. I think they fully recognize that students are the heartbeat of this university. And I know Ann mentioned numerous times how energizing it was, how full of life it was. It's a creative place to be, it's a fun place to be. And that's part of why they connected, but I think at the core is that they really truly care about every person on this campus, not only the students, but the faculty and the staff.
The Hargises' commitment to students did not go unnoticed. Throughout their time on campus, they interacted with tens of thousands of future alumni who will not soon forget their commitment to students and their impact on our alma mater.
I think he's a really good guy. He's a really friendly guy, actually. He really likes to talk, especially with students.
Thank you for making my years at college fun, memorable, of course, and trying their hardest during Corona and all that to make sure we still have fun, all the students.
Nice. I remember her always driving around campus on hot days, handing out water bottles to people. And it was just a really clear sign of what kind of person she is and what kind of people they are, that they're just super welcoming.
She, again, is so sweet, genuine. I think they both share a lot of those personality traits and just something that everyone can look up to.
Thanks, Burns and Ann. Go Pokes!
Future generations of Cowboys will not need to look far to see the legacy of Burns and Ann Hargis. Their impact is permanently ensconced, not only in brick and mortar, but also in music, art, and most definitely animals. Their gift to us was their vision, dedication, and love. And in return, we recognize them with OSU's highest honor. Burns and Ann Hargis, 2023 Oklahoma State University Hall of Fame.
Burns, you know all those times on the Kiss Cam, you're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I present for induction into the OSU Hall of Fame, Burns and Ann Hargis.
Well, I feel like we just went to our own funeral. So all of you are excused from going to our funeral. I mean, we really appreciate it. It's a great honor to be inducted into the OSU Hall of Fame. It's a great honor, and we want to thank the Alumni Association for this wonderful honor, and being with Cecil and General Thompson. I was a captain, so I don't pull rank. But it's just, we really appreciate being honored alongside two great individuals, and have at it.
Well, I also want to say we are totally honored for something that was magical in our relationship and a time that was spent enjoying so much of this.
Because we were at a real low point.
We needed help, and thank you so much. Okay, go.
All right. I'm looking at this script, and it doesn't even look familiar to me. I think I kind of, wait a minute, no, don't do that. Oh, it was a lot of fun. Most of the time. You know, in fact, the other day when they were predicting snow, I was thinking, you know, they're predicting snow, and I'm not getting any tweets about closing school. And then it dawned on me, no, Casey's getting these tweets. Because I used to get these tweets if we did close school, then it was fine. If I didn't, then I'd get these tweets like, can you come get me? I'm in a ditch. Or somebody said, I can't believe you put my child at risk. Well, of course, it was the child that wrote that. It wasn't. So anyway, I'm missing all that fun, Casey, and I know you and Darren are really enjoying it. Okay. See, this is the trouble with scripts. I don't know where we're going.
Oh, neither do I. But I'll just
Who wrote
say
this
that.
stuff?
I'll just say that since 2008, a lot has happened. In 2008, we were on Blackberries. I mean, we did not have iPhones. We did not have the capabilities we have now. So many of the things that we experienced were just sort of serendipitous, such as having this standard-sized poodle come to campus one day. He was black, the black poodle. He had hair. She had hair everywhere.
Kind of a similar haircut.
Well, something's going on because the wind blows and I have not seen a mirror in 4 hours. But this beautiful black standard poodle came to OSU, and her name was Rossi, after Diana Ross. And she just made visits all over campus. And we were just amazed at the reception she got, these loving admirations from our students, faculty, and staff. And little did we realize that that was the seed that started the pet therapy program. which today is in its 10th year on this university. So, thanks.
And how many dogs have you trained and owners, including me?
Well, we actually train teams. God love you, we're still training this one. But we have trained over 140 teams of owner handlers and their dogs. And there are some in this room tonight that I just kind of want to recognize, but I won't. But it's fabulous.
No, it's a great program.
Yeah.
And Ann's emphasis on wellness has been a very important tenet of everything that's going on. And she actually trademarked the word America's Healthiest Campus. And I think we are. So thank you for that.
You're so welcome. I think we're also very excited about the advancement of the arts on this campus, because we always had wonderful programs, but they were not on the forefront the way we thought they should be celebrated. And to know that we now have the McKnight Center. Ross McKnight is with us here
so
tonight. Billy and Ross. And of course I can't see. And the Greenwood School of Music, and Ann and Mike Greenwood are here. As well as our effort in Taos, New Mexico, called the Dole Reed Center for the Arts. And
Which Melinda Fisher was behind.
And Melinda and Dick are here tonight. Table 22. So all I can say is we are thrilled about the fact that the arts help round out the education and the exposure of our students to be a complete adult. And we're very pleased about that.
And really, thanks to Ross and Billy, this relationship with the New York Philharmonic is important. Ross is on the board of the New York Phil, and they're learning a whole new accent. But the most magical time, I think, in the 13 years, I'm about to lose it here, is that night when we opened the McKnight Center. It was an incredible evening. So thank you, Ross and Billy. I mean, after all, how many college students get to work in master classes with members of the New York Philharmonic? I mean, that's the real benefit of it. Okay, see, you're here. No, you're here.
Thank you very much.
This is what I live with.
This is what I live with. Okay.
Okay, we're supposed to be done in 3 minutes. So
okay, on your mark.
Okay. All right, we're going to do some thank yous.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, first of all, to the Board of Regents who took a chance.
Big leap.
And gave us an opportunity to be here.
Always supported us. They were terrific. So, okay, I've got a few thank yous, and you don't have to worry. They're not going to have to play music to get me off the stage. But Ann and I want to make a few thank yous in addition to those we've met. Some of them are posthumous, and one is Henry Bennett and his plan for this campus. I mean, we followed his master plan. It was incredible what an inspiration he was. And he was here, I think, 30 some odd years. He introduced OSU all around the world when he was head of the Point 4 program, now called USAID. So always remember and say thank you to Henry Bennett. Of course, thanks to Boone Pickens. It wasn't always easy. I was talking tonight when he called me and he said, I'm told I'm paying out-of-state tuition for the students that grow up on my ranch. And I said, well, yeah, Boone, they're out of state. And he said, well, how much money do I have to give you to get in-state tuition? You haven't given any money for in-state tuition. You've given it for scholarships. You've given it for the stadium. You've given it for it. And click, it was done. I just hoped he would get over it. But he really did. He really did set, I think, us on fire with enthusiasm. That's what my grandmother would always say. Set yourself on fire with enthusiasm, and the rest of the world will come around just to watch you burn. That's where I got my name. And why did my political consultants come up with Feel the Burn? I mean, no wonder I lost. And of course, Ann Halligan is here tonight, and Jim, who we lost last year, he was a wonderful counselor for me. He only provided counsel when I asked for it, but when I asked for it, he was there, and I think the world of him.
In addition, we would also like to thank the numerous donors who were so generous to step up and believe in the mission and the message of what this university could be and believed in where we were going. I'd also like to add those who supported us in what we did, who took no credit but gave us the credit for all the work that they did.
Gary Clark and Kendria are good examples.
Absolutely. And also, I'd like to thank Burns.
That's not in the script.
It's not. And he doesn't know I'm saying this, but for accepting this opportunity and giving us the chance to make a difference.
Yeah, when I came home and I said to Ann, they're talking to me about being president, she said, of what?
That's true.
Anyway, I want to thank the faculty and staff who always had our students' best interest at heart and did groundbreaking research.
And also, thank you for the community of Stillwater, a great partnership with our university. So what's good for one is good for the other, and I think that that fellowship and friendship and partnership has exceeded all of our efforts and our desires.
Yeah, there's so many more, but hope you know how much we appreciate you, and we really, I'm starting to hear the musicians tune up, so I know we've been up here too long. But anyway, believe me, with Casey, Jess, that's enough of that. No, they're really.
Thank you again, everybody, and always.
Go Folks!
They don't get any better than those two. I love you both. I think this whole room loves both of you. I also love Jim Halligan, and I love Ann Halligan. And I'll just tell one thing that I loved about President Halligan. He always would say that there's enough room on the stage for everybody to get some of the spotlight. I love that about him. He was a great man and a great leader for us. And you know, President Hargis was the same time. He's like, at the same time, he's like, you can be on the stage with me, just leave the jokes to me. And so that's all we had to do, right? So, all right. Our next honoree would most likely prefer to remain nameless, but that's not how we do it here at the OSU Hall of Fame. Cecil O'Brate is a product of the Plains and of Oklahoma A&M College. He grew up in the Depression and put his family first over his education when the opportunity presented itself. Little did he know how that decision would transform not only his life, but the lives of so many others. Cecil is the definition of a philanthropist and enjoys nothing more than giving back to those in need, especially those in his hometown of Garden City, Kansas. And we all know a piece of his heart still resides here in Stillwater, Oklahoma, where his generosity has transformed the Cowboy baseball facilities and elevated the experiences of our student athletes to heights we never even really dreamed of before Cecil. Please turn your attention to the video screens as we recognize our next honoree, Cecil O'Brate.
Cecil O'Brate has been a humble servant to his communities and those around him for decades. His generosity to Oklahoma State University and the community of Garden City, Kansas will continue to shine for many years to come.
Well, he's something that we should all aspire to. He's almost too good to be true. He has unbelievable work ethic, and he's had that since he was a youngster. Very, very, very humble to a fault. Unselfish, probably to a fault. Generous to a fault. He's been doing nice things for people forever.
Getting to know him, again, probably wouldn't be, other than my wife and my family, probably the greatest blessing that I've ever had. just because he has been an individual, that business partner, boss in some cases, friend, mentor, father figure. You take all those things and put them into a blender and wrap them up. That's been my relationship with him, and it's been great.
Cecil O'Brate was a child of the Great Depression. He was not born into wealth, but was determined to change his fortune. O'Brate attended Oklahoma A&M from 1946 to 1948 before returning to farming and ranching, and worked his way up to becoming the businessman and serial entrepreneur he is known as today.
One of the things that sticks out about his youth was he was always entrepreneurial, whether it was buying marbles. He would trade marbles with some of his schoolmates, and or buying cars in high school and fixing them up and trading them. There's a story that the day that he got married, somebody offered him what he thought was a decent price for his car, and he sold it and didn't have any way to get to his own wedding. So that entrepreneurial spirit, I think, has been there from day one.
If you could make it out in southwest Kansas, in northwest Oklahoma, you had to be able to overcome a lot of obstacles. There's not much rain, the soil's not especially great, but we found different ways to be innovators, to take agriculture and make it explode, to take the oil industry and help that explode.
Cecil and his wife Frances have lived in Garden City, Kansas for over 60 years. Always willing to give back to their community, the couple started the O'Brate Foundation to provide scholarships and life skills training. He has also worked to make Garden City a major hub for business by investing in hotels, restaurants, housing, and more.
So I think 2 or 3 times I've been to Garden City when they're opening up new assisted government-sponsored housing, where Cecil basically quietly purchased the land, helped provide the infrastructure, got the project rolling. I think about the restaurants and the swim and the aqua center they have there. And I tell you what, they've got the nicest hotel in all the state of Kansas right there in Garden City as well.
We've partnered together on a lot of things, but make sure that you never forget to give back. And that, to me, is Cecil's legacy. We can talk about how successful he's been, and there's no question he has been. But the real legacy is that he knew what to do with that. He knew what to do with it, whether it be helping his foundation with the many underprivileged children or kids that he's helped through college, to some of the other organizations that he's been philanthropic, to Oklahoma State. He always gave back.
Here's my favorite of what the O'Brate's done is their foundation for scholarships. I think they've got 150 to 200 kids on scholarship right now, but it's so much more than just saying we're going to pay for your tuition. They target kids like Cecil, like myself, probably first-generation college students, self-made people. And then they set them up with some type of a sponsor, a mentor. They teach them how to balance a checkbook, how to tear up the credit cards, teach them so much more about life, teach them how to be successful.
Always willing to give a hand, passionate for giving back, and a lover of Oklahoma State University, O'Brate graciously donated the funds for the new home of Cowboy baseball. O'Brate Stadium was a much-needed upgrade and will forever change the look of our campus.
Something new needed to be put out there, and Cecil O'Brate was willing to invest not only in paying tribute to the past, but in the future. And make no mistake about it, that stadium is our intent to win the national championship, and not just occasionally. But it takes someone that believes in that vision, and then has the resources to make it happen. And to quote Cecil O'Brate, make it happen. And thank goodness he was at the right stage of his life where he was willing to make that kind of commitment.
The Oklahoma State baseball stadium was something he was so proud of, and this will be his signature monument, I'll say, that he's going to leave. He loves Oklahoma State University, and we were supposed to have the first pitch thrown out, and COVID didn't allow that, but we made a trek down there just to see the unofficial opening of the baseball stadium. And just walking around the stadium, and Cecil and Frances and the family all the kids, so proud of what their dad had done.
Well, that baseball stadium, O'Brate Stadium, means everything for the baseball program. That's a physical manifestation of Oklahoma State's commitment to baseball.
O'Brate is described as a man of few words, but his words are golden. Despite his success, he is seen by those around him as humble and caring. He is a silent humanitarian dedicated to improving the lives of others.
Cecil likes to be very anonymous when he gives, and he certainly does not seek accolades. So while he's doing this baseball stadium for Oklahoma State, and it's wonderful to see him being inducted into the Hall of Fame, that's not why he did it. And if there was not a big deal made out of it, it wouldn't bother him one little bit, because that's not why he did it. He did it because he wanted to, because he's compassionate, because he saw a need, and he wanted to get back. And that was the way that he could do it.
This might have been the first thing he ever did at a big level for Oklahoma State University, but he's been invested in other people and humanity his whole life. So I think he's, name a quality that you value: generosity, humility, unselfishness, hard worker. Just go down the list. He's going to check all the boxes, and he's going to get high marks in every single one of them. So we're blessed that he came to Oklahoma State for a couple of years. We're blessed that he went to Garden City, Kansas, and started farming.
O'Brate's legacy of giving back is a gift he has shared with us all. His generosity, silent humility, and uplifting of others will leave a lasting impact on the university he loves and the communities that surround him. Cecil O'Brate, 2023 Oklahoma State University Hall of Fame.
Mr. O'Brate, let's make this happen. For induction into the OSU Hall of Fame, Cecil O'Brate.
Is that it? I just want to say thank you to everybody, and my wife and boys are all here, or most of them, and let your wife and boys stand so everybody knows who we are. We have 4 boys, 8 grandkids, and 9 great-grandkids, some of who are here tonight. And I want to thank all my friends and my extended family for them supporting me all this time. And thanks to Oklahoma State alumni for this honor. And thanks, Mike Holder, for getting me back to Oklahoma State. If he hadn't come and got me, because I'd never been back since I got out of school till Mike got a hold of me. a little bit when I was in school. I had two jobs. One was setting pins at a bowling alley, and the other was making ice cream at the ice cream factory. Well, I overdid it on ice cream, and when I went to the bowling alley, it was so hot back there that I got sick and had to have some friends take me home. So don't eat too much ice cream before you get into a hot place. I went back to Garden City before I graduated because the availability of 3,000 acres of farmland come up that I could rent. And that is a big bunch of farm ground. I left Stillwater. I never dreamed that I'd even be back, but this was an honor to come back to Stillwater. My life at home included ranching and food processing service, manufacturing, oil and gas, oil field services, 3D seismic company, hospitality, we own some hotels, and banking. And now we're doing a housing development for Garden City, which needs it really bad. So, there. That's about all I've got to say, because I'm a man of few words. Thank you.
Give you guys this. Mr. O'Brate, I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to meet President George W. Bush and bringing him to campus. That was a great day, and Josh will back me up. That's the only time in OSU baseball history that we played one game and scored 2 W's. It's true. It's the only time it's ever happened. Right, Josh? That's true. It is true. Congratulations, Mr. O'Brate. Our final honoree is both a cowboy and a veteran. When Michael Thompson joined the Oklahoma Army National Guard in 1983, no one could have known the rank that he would achieve except maybe himself. After graduating from Langston in 1996, he earned his master's degree from Oklahoma State University in 1998 and went on to graduate from the U.S. Army War College. He was deployed twice in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom, and back at home led a distinguished 28-year career with the Oklahoma Department of Public Safety. Major General Thompson was appointed by Governor Fallon, another OSU grad, to lead the Oklahoma National Guard in 2017, and he also served as the top military advisor to the governor. It's clear to anyone who meets him that Major General Thompson's drive is matched only by his love for family, his state, and our alma mater. Please turn your attention to the video screens as we recognize our next and our final honoree, Major General Michael Thompson.
Major General Michael Thompson has dedicated his life to serving the great state of Oklahoma. His passion for service and loyalty to those around him are what has propelled him to where he is today.
Those who serve know what service means. And it's not about getting a paycheck. It's not about getting to do great and wondrous things. It's just about serving somebody other than yourself. And that embodies what Mike does. That shows first in him, just like his faith and those other characteristics do. But it's a part of your character.
He's a man of character, good character, integrity, a man of faith, a man of commitment, especially to his family, a man of commitment to his state, his nation, and he's humble, and he loves people, and you can always trust him.
Major General Thompson grew up in the small town of Purcell, Oklahoma. His mother was a single mom and raised him and his siblings on her own while she worked as a housekeeper. He grew up in a home with constant love, where he learned the concept of hard work, doing the right thing, and treating people with respect. He carried what his mother taught him from his first job at the bakery in Purcell to serving as Adjutant General of Oklahoma, leading the state's military forces, including the National Guard.
As an individual, it wasn't easy, but the drive is there. You know, if you've known Mike's story, and I don't know if everybody does, but if you know Mike's story, you know that, he started from humble beginnings and he just kept driving. When we got in the academy, he didn't have a degree, but he wanted one. So guess what? He went and got his bachelor's degree, and then he went on to OSU.
He has a full resume. Well, first of all, he's a graduate of Oklahoma State University with a master's in science, and he's even got a master's in strategic studies from the War College. I mean, what kind of qualifications do you need of someone like that that's had duty and service and commitment to not only his state, the National Guard, the Highway Patrol he'd been in forever, and of course to his country, then to find someone to be your Cabinet Secretary of Safety and Security, then Mike Thompson.
I think that what a student can take away from my husband is balance. So yes, there's the hard work of going to school, and when he worked on his master's degree at OSU, he did that during night school. So he wasn't your traditional student. He did that while he was had a wife and had 2 kids at home, and he was working as a state trooper. So he was spending nights writing papers and studying for tests and finishing that degree. But he found a way to balance that so that he could still do that educational piece, but also be there for his family as well.
For all the goals Major General Thompson has set in his life, it seems like there's not one he hasn't accomplished. His professional success, combined with his personal convictions, serve as a perfect model of determination and perseverance for his family and young people today.
There's a lot of reasons that the state of Oklahoma is better off having General Thompson. He gives a lot of people a role model. I mean, people of color. I mean, if you look, you get to see a man that started out as a trooper and made it all the way to the highest rank you can do in the Highway Patrol. And then he left there and he became a cabinet member. He became adjutant general, and it wasn't easy.
His drive is just a personal drive. There's not a military background in either of our backgrounds. So it started with him, and it's totally, went on with both of our sons. Our youngest son, he served a couple of tours in both, in Afghanistan and Iraq. He flew Chinook helicopters, and then he came back and went to medical school, so he's finished that. And then our oldest son went to West Point, married an officer, and they're both still serving active duty.
Major General Thompson has received many accolades to exemplify his success. Most importantly, though, he exemplifies the utmost character that his family, friends, and alma mater can all be proud of.
Mike is just such a fine person, and it reflects in every facet of his life, and I think that's what we all hope to achieve. I think we want our character to show up in our families, we want it to show up in our faith, we want it to show up in our service, and to look at Mike and know that what he says and what he is what you get. It's a feel-good moment.
It's just his sense of commitment to people, the love of serving others, his desire to basically protect people, whether it's been in the National Guard, serving in the Iraqi War, freedom that he served overseas, to whether it's serving as Highway Patrolman. He's always had that sense of taking care of people, caring about his state, caring about his nation, and just wanting to help.
The Cowboy Code says being a cowboy isn't in our clothes, it's in our character. Few have exemplified the Cowboy Code as well as Hall of Fame inductee Major General Thompson. Our state and our nation are brighter places because of him and his years of dedicated service. Major General Michael Thompson, 2023 Oklahoma State University Hall of Fame.
Our president is taller than she's about to appear. For induction into the OSU Hall of Fame, Major General Michael Thompson.
Well, my whole speech was shown on the video, so I'll probably be pretty quick. It's an honor to be here, Mr. Albright. A pleasure to meet you, President Hargis and the First Lady. I'm really standing among giants in the Oklahoma State University community, and I'm very humbled to be here today. So for all of you asking that burning question, and I know you're asking, how tall is that guy? 6'8". So if you want any money with that bet, I think you should share it with me. As a young man in Purcell, I always admired people who were seeking a college education, and I didn't know what it entailed, but I admired it tremendously. So as you can imagine, when I graduated from Purcell High School in 1981 and went to the University of Science and Arts in Chickasha, I was really excited about being a student athlete. Unfortunately for me, during my time at USAO, the 2 years I was there, I spent more time being an athlete than a student, and it was reflected in my grades. That's not funny. It is now, I guess. But when I left USAO in 1983, all of my dreams of being a college graduate left with me. And it would be years before I would revisit those dreams. And it wasn't until I met General Tom Daniels, Rita Aragon's friend, and he took me to Langston University. And he said, took me right to the president's office, and we talked about my education. And Dr. Holloway, who was the president at the time, said, if you're willing to do the work, we will work with you, and there's no reason you can't be a lion. And in the same breath, he said, if you're not willing to work, you should go elsewhere because this isn't the place for you. And I left there encouraged, and I went to work at night, on the weekends, in the summer, and I started pecking away at this bachelor's degree. And in 1996, 15 years after I graduated from high school, I finally graduated from college from Langston University as a Lion. So that was pretty cool. But unknown to a lot of people, during my last semester, I started daydreaming about getting a master's degree from Oklahoma State University. And it truly was a dream at that point, really a fantasy. And then I went and met with Dr. Cecil Duggar, and we saw a lot of very important people here this evening. But Dr. Duggar survived the Great Depression. He was a member of our greatest generation, a Korean war veteran, and fought and served here at Oklahoma State University for over 3 decades. And he's here today, so let's give him a round of applause. I hope I look as good as Dr. Duggar when I'm 93, so that's pretty impressive. So I met with Dr. Duggar, and I wanted to talk to him about getting a graduate degree. And he listened to me for about 30 minutes, and at the end, he said, if you're going to do the work part-time, I think you can easily get this done in 2 years. Maybe 2.5, but 2 years. And I went to work. So 3 weeks after I finished at Langston, I started at OSU. And a couple of years after that, I finished with a 4.0 from Oklahoma State University, and it was a proud moment. So thank you, Dr. Duggar. So I have these degrees now. It's 1998, and I'm like, well, what do I do with it? And fortunately for me, Bob Ricks, who is here tonight, I'm just name dropping all over the place. Bob Ricks, who came to the Oklahoma Department of Public Safety from the FBI, a long career in the FBI. And he was the commissioner. And Bob Ricks valued higher education. And he was also an advocate for diversity. And just a sideline, it's really amazing that we're having discussions in 2023 about whether or not diversity is important or meaningful in our communities. It's crazy that we're having that discussion, but I'll get off of that soapbox. I'm glad that you were, Bob Ricks. So Bob Ricks, the same year I graduated from OSU, he promoted me to second lieutenant, and he would go on and promote me all the way to what is now a major with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. And from major, that's only the deputy chief and then the chief, so pretty close to the top. And then Governor Fallon gets elected governor. And in 2011, she's building her team that included Rita Aragon and Miles Deering and other folks. And because I had this degree from Oklahoma State University, I was a major from the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, I was a colonel, one step away from being a general in the Guard, I got an interview. And after a couple of interviews, Governor Fallon made me the cabinet secretary in safety and security and the commissioner of Oklahoma Department of Public Safety. And then years later, on her second term, she would make me cabinet secretary for the military and the adjutant general for the Oklahoma National Guard, and promote me to 2-star general and gave me my dream job, and I'll always love her for that. So thank you, Governor Fallon. I know that you couldn't be here. And I like to believe with Governor Fallon and with Bob Ricks that my Oklahoma State University master's degree on my resume played a little bit of part in influencing that decision. I don't know if it did or not, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it. So you have all these good things happen to you. And when I was young, true then, true now, education has always been so critical to be able to take you from what other people will have your standing in life. And if we aren't careful, society will have this way of putting you in these little boxes and predetermining what your expectations are. And that box sometimes gets moved to the margin. And if you're living in that marginalized part of our community, it's hard getting out of that box. But one of the tools that will help you break that wall or climb over that wall has been and always will be education. That's why I so appreciate institutions like this. I'm going to wrap this up. My wife and I, we both pursued these graduate degrees, and not only my wife, but my family as well. And the whole time we were doing this, we were trying to plant the seed with our kids that education needs to be a part of your life. It needs to be a priority. And it worked. Our oldest son graduated from West Point. He's assigned to the Pentagon. He's already has his first master's degree and is working on his second. Our youngest son graduated from that school in Norman. Got an MBA from OSU and graduated from medical school at OSU. So education's a big deal. And as happy as Debbie and I were to watch our kids excel academically, it wasn't just us, it was our family who you can't see because they're kind of sitting a few tables back. But our nieces and nephews collectively have graduated from Oklahoma State University, Oklahoma, Tulsa University, Southern Nazarene University, and the University of Central Oklahoma. And I'm just so thrilled about that because the more they incorporate education into their life, I'm hoping that they can pass that on to their children, and one day we'll have a future generation that really can live in a world that is truly without limits. That's my hope. So the bottom line for me, education has been a huge part of my life, and I'm so honored to be here and be a part of this evening. Education gives you hope. Institutions like Oklahoma State University delivers promise, and I'm so grateful to be here and be a part of this. So thank you, Oklahoma State University, Oklahoma State Alumni Association, Dr. Shrum, thank you for doing a wonderful job with our, let's give Dr. Shrum a round of applause. Did I say that right? For doing a wonderful job with our alma mater. Thank you for all the family and friends who have supported me throughout these numerous journeys. Thank you to my wife. This time next week, we'll be married 39 years. I know. And it's just been a wonderful ride, and I'm so proud to be an Oklahoma State Cowboy and to have an opportunity to be a part of this evening. Thank you, everyone. And to my fellow honorees, Mr. Albright and the First Family at Oklahoma State University, congratulations on a tremendous honor. Wish you all the best. God bless you.
You know, tonight is about our OSU pride, but doesn't the Major General just reinforce your pride in being an American? Great job and congratulations. On behalf of the OSU Alumni Association, I would like to thank the Alumni Awards Committee for their diligent effort in selecting the members of this year's OSU Hall of Fame class. Let's give them a big round of applause for all their hard work. So following the ceremony, our inductees will be available in Traditions Hall to visit with you, and a photographer will also be available to take pictures with friends and family and our honorees, of course. Congratulations to our newest members. A night like this just reminds us that it's good to be us. It's good to be a cowboy, right? So congratulations to our newest members of the OSU Hall of Fame, their families and friends, and everyone who is helping make OSU the nation's preeminent land-grant university. We appreciate each of you for being here this evening. To conclude this evening, you know what we've got to do. Everybody up. It's our OSU alma mater. Go Pokes.